We define ourselves by what we see in the mirror or what we do for a paycheck. We say, I am American, or I am an engineer, identifying entirely with the physical body and its temporary social roles. This identification drives a relentless need to exploit the material world for personal satisfaction. When that drive goes unfulfilled, it creates a cycle of fear, anger, and anxiety over things we cannot control. Vedic philosophy offers an alternative to this cycle. Instead of retreating from the world, Bhakti Yoga suggests engaging the senses in the service of the divine, turning every action into a spiritual meditation. Consider the figure of Hanuman. Though he occupied a warrior's body and an animal form, and lacked traditional philosophical schooling, he is celebrated for a level of devotion that reached past the limits of the ego. His life and physical labors provide the logic for trading a material identity for a spiritual one, demonstrating how to move from self-interest to a state of service. When Hanuman first encounters Rama, he does not lead with his immense physical strength. He approaches with humility, speaking with the refinement of a scholar. In this tradition, the entry point for acquiring spiritual knowledge is submissiveness. The seeker approaches the divine not to conquer or command, but simply asks, "How may I serve?" The texts describe material existence as bhavambuddhi, a vast ocean of ignorance trapping the soul. But for one taking shelter in the divine, this ocean transforms into vatsapadam, shrinking to the volume of water in a calf's hoofprint. Hanuman's famous leap across the sea to Lanka was the physical result of this faith. Because his motive was centered on service, the material boundaries of the ocean became insignificant. The conflict in the Ramayana is a contrast of motives. The antagonist, Ravana, sought to exploit the divine energy, represented by Sita, for his own enjoyment. Hanuman sought to retrieve that energy and restore it to its source. Hanuman's act of setting fire to Lanka was a devotional service performed under divine dictation. The destruction was the external result of following an internal order from his master. Because he acted without personal interest, he remained untouched by the consequences of the action. Even while the city burned, Hanuman himself remained unburned by the flames. When Hanuman was tasked with retrieving the Sanjeevani herb to save his companions, he reached the mountain but could not identify the specific plant. He did not return empty-handed or stop to deliberate. He uprooted the entire mountain and carried it back to the battlefield. This represents the dedication of all one's resources and energy to the task at hand. Removing personal motive from an action creates a state of infinite capability. The devotee becomes capable of massive feats because they are no longer restricted by the limitations of the false ego. Hanuman is often depicted tearing open his own chest to show Rama and Sita residing within his heart. This illustrates the Vedic truth that the Supreme Lord is situated within the heart of every living entity, directing the wanderings of the soul as if it were seated on a machine. While this presence is universal, it is only perceived when the soul strips away selfish intentions and material desires. In the modern age, we are not called to physically leap over oceans. The primary obstacle is the internal struggle to conquer the false ego and the belief that we are the sole proprietors of our lives. Today, the practice involves utilizing our daily talents and the chanting of the holy name to cleanse the heart. This acts as a personal sanjivani, reviving the soul's original consciousness. Liberation occurs by entering an active relationship of service. By adopting this mindset, the soul navigates the material world with the same freedom Hanuman displayed in his journey to Lanka.